So the theme for next week is body image. And yeah, I'm wondering, Darren, what comes up for you when you hear body image?
Mm. I was thinking about this and I thought when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of conversation or pressure around the whole idea of body image. There wasn't any shaming. It was, I think I had quite an easy ride of it, to be honest. I mean, in terms of being in school and being at home, the only thing I remember once was coming home one day and saying, oh, someone was making fun because I was small. And I remember mum just saying, diamonds don't come in big boxes. And I just, and that actually that just dealt with it for me. I just thought, oh yeah. And then it was never an issue. You know what I mean? So I never really felt I was diminished in any way. I think I just thought I was average and kind of, so it was never really an issue for me in my body. And I don't think it really has been much of an issue for me most of my life. I think I consider myself to be average. So I don't consider myself to be, out there with this incredible body image. And I don't really have hang-ups either. So I like my body. I was thinking, what is the image I have of myself? And I think, well, I like my body. When I look in the mirror, generally, what I do think for myself is very often my body is a sign of the state of my mental health. So when I think back to the pandemic, which was quite a struggle for me at times, I realized, for instance, that I was eating more than I needed. I was eating for comfort. I was eating to get rid of some distress, and I was putting weight on. And so I'd look at myself in the mirror and go, it wasn't so much the fat on me. It was like, that's a sign that you're not feeling very good. So I think very often my body tells me whether I'm in a good mental health state or not. I
Hmm.
think that's how I use my body to inform me. And I think also the COVID gave me an appreciation of my body because I actually had COVID and I was very, very ill for about 8 weeks. And I was kind of observing how my body was dealing with that virus and how amazing it was actually, how it fought every day. And I was sweating and I was hot and I had fever, I was tired. And every day it just kept fighting, fighting. I remember one day being in tears actually at how amazing my body was. Like it never gave up on me. It just kept going. And so for me, my appreciation of my body is very much about what it does for me and all the intricate and amazing things. So I often do gratitude lists, and it's very rare that I don't have gratitude for my body. It's often listed as one of the things I'm really, really grateful for. So I think illness has kind of taught me to really appreciate what it does, not just how it looks. I think I used to go to the gym to change how I looked, and now I go to the gym to change how I feel. It makes me feel better. It's all about my mental health, exercise, etc. So those were the kind of reflections I had. How about you?
Yeah, I think my journey is certainly very different from yours. So body image for me has always been something that's been in the background. When I was 10, I developed alopecia, so I lost all my hair. And one of the things I remember at school was being labeled a version of a freak, being seen as the different one. So there was a lot of name calling that went with that. And then when I was in my teens, I developed severe acne. And so there was oh, you're ugly. That was such a big thing. You're ugly. So for me, those were the two things that I kind of remember in terms of my early years, the alopecia and the acne. And there's a story that stands out for me, actually within the gay world. I remember someone describing me to his friend as the ugly one with no hair, which
Mm,
was sort of bringing back all those echoes from my early years. So there was a period after I came out where I became very into compensating behaviors. So it was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is go to the gym and be really fit, be really toned, and that will compensate for my so-called ugliness and defectiveness. So my early years out were sort of yeah, riddled with compensation, those compensating behaviors in terms of the gym, in terms of what I was eating, in terms of what I was wearing. Um, and so where I am now is very different, actually. Where I am now is at a place of compassion for myself, like really recognizing the journey that I've been through. And at the same time, I'm conscious that those early wounds sometimes can become inflamed by something. So it might be I look in the mirror and I see a spot, and immediately I'm transported back to being in high school, or yeah, or someone says something on television and it reminds me of something that I experienced in high school. So those wounds are there, they're dormant. And sometimes something external can very easily activate them. And so that's what comes up for me. And in terms of our session, I'm really looking forward to the dialogue because I'm conscious that there are different ways that people come into this topic of body image. There's stories of the past, there's what's going on now, and there's what's our hopes and dreams for the future.
Wow, that's it's so rich what you're saying, and I'm sure the diversity of the group that we get will also come through with the experiences that people are sharing when we do the session.
Yeah, it's going to be rich.
Mhm.